Hey kids, this is the first Adorama Rewind on a Monday. I'm Seth Miranda. I'm a little sick, so you're gonna hear a little weird voice, maybe some sniffles. Don't freak out, we're gonna get through this together. Some stuff's happened, some news has occurred, so let's go through it. You're gonna hear some weird noises because above me, they're doing construction, and that seems to be the going theme for when I record, so go with that. Let's get through this because there's some really cool things that happened, some not so cool things that happened, and just stuff in general. Man can't explain why prize-winning photo is identical to another photographer's. So, just like the shot on iPhone competition, this is OnePlus, which is a Chinese smartphone manufacturer, put out shot on OnePlus, a competition where if you hashtag that on their phones, you'll get to see all this stuff, and you'll get a chance to win a whopping $600. Yeah, so here's the controversy. This is the image that got posted in one, and the original photographer saw this, which was this image. If you notice, this is the crop. And you look at you can see on the left frame how there's like the different bricks. Pretty much what happened here is this was posted, hashtagged shot on OnePlus, which is the smartphone manufacturer. The other photographer who originally shot the photo, or allegedly, we don't really know if 100%, but he said, yo, what are you doing? This guy goes, no, it's my shot. He said, cool, give me the raw file and the EXIF. And the guy said, yeah, here it is, and here's the EXIF. And it seemed a little shady. Actually, this is what he responded with. This is what he said. He sent the raw file and all this stuff, and it said stock auto modes, original file JPEG. It just didn't seem that genuine. And the original photographer said, you've done a terrible job at faking the EXIF. By the way, the EXIF says we clicked at 2 p.m. It was in the middle of the afternoon at f1.7 with you have to have your shutter wide open, blah, blah. All these like little pics and drabs of the details. All allegations, but either way, it's kind of shady that the guy's still sticking to his guns. If you were caught in a lie, just, it's a $600 check. I don't know what to tell you. If you ask me, in my opinion, looking at the images and looking at the conversation back and forth, it looks like it was a copped image. Over a $600 check, I don't know. And it's also a shot that I think anybody that sees, perspective lines as such, they would go and take that shot. So it's not like the end of the world. It's not this amazing once-in-a-lifetime shot, but you have to give respect to people's images and who has ownership. And I think people that aren't working in the industry don't really understand that level of ownership on something they've created. So especially when you've poured so much yourself in, you invest in your equipment, all this sorts of stuff. So I don't really know how this is going to flesh out. I just think it's kind of interesting that someone is sticking to their guns on both sides of this. Let me know what you think. Has someone ever copped your image and tried to tell people that it was yours and you caught them out on it and they still went along with it? Let me know how that's going. In another down note, this is actually pretty big. Photochemistry giant Tetenal Closing shop after 172 years. So Tetenal made C41 for color processing and E6 and wet plate collodion and all this stuff for Ilford and Kodak for almost 2 centuries is closing their doors. We talked about how they were in financial turmoil a couple months back, and now it looks like they actually are closing down. I've also included this article down below, which lets you know exactly how important Tetenal was and gives you a run through of how the 2 centuries of business went for them and just changing the industry. I mean, this is where things have come from. This is the type of stuff that presets and filters were taken from and where we built this craft. So it's kind of important not to forget it. It's also important to realize that, yeah, digital is like this monster, but analog there's still a community out there. There's still people that want to, I still shoot film. Daniel still shoots film. Kent Miller still shoots film. If you don't know who Kent Miller is, do your research, go check out his YouTube channel. This is a big deal. It seems like it's old news, right? That we've heard analog companies close and that things have changed so much, but the reality is that 2 centuries and we couldn't find a way to adapt or get them into a position where they didn't have to close their doors. So read that, check it all out. It's a little disheartening. On the flip side of that coin, Panasonic just released their first full frame mirrorless camera. It is the Panasonic S1R and S1 full frame mirrorless. So this is where the pendulum swings to the other side, right? So we have these huge monster releases from this company that did nothing but small frames sensors for so long. And we heard about it at Photokina, a lot of crazy specs. I'm not gonna go through the specs. You guys have heard it on every other channel and news blog or whatever else, and everyone's saying their piece on it. I will say this, it's a really amazing throw. It is an incredible processor. The ability to take 8 47 megapixel images in one shot with a pixel shift and stitch them in camera to create a 160 plus megapixel image. If you're a landscape photographer or still life or whatever, that's pretty amazing, especially just be able to do it in camera. That's a big deal. Remember I kept telling you, it's not about what the cameras can do so far, it's about what the hardware inside the camera is. This Venus processor, I'm pretty curious about it, and I'm wondering what the firmware updates going forward will be for this. They've already said that they will upgrade the XQD to be CF Express, just like the Nikon firmware is going to do. So I think we're going to start seeing that memory go a little further, especially if we're going to start shooting higher res, more frames, stacking images, things like that. We need more robust cards, and I think that this is kind of where things are going to shift a little bit. That's my opinion. You can go ahead and hate me. I'm sure all the Sony kids are like filing their teeth right now to get on those comments, but it is what it is. I will say this, we saw the Photokina, it was just a plastic body and we were like, oh cool, but we can't touch it and there's nothing we can do with it. But now it's actually announced, and not only that, but our guys took it to Chile for a week. So if you go to Adorama TV, you can check out this, which is, we teamed up with Ben Greneau, and he basically got to go to all these amazing landscapes in Chile, Patagonia, and for a week he shredded through and got whatever he could with this camera and really showed its paces and what he would apply for and the features and things like that. It's a really beautiful series, and I say series because every Friday we're going to release on our Adorama TV, YouTube right here, a different video focusing on one aspect of this camera. So this was the quick intro overview, like, hey, the camera's here. Every Friday after that, bop, 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 it's going to be about, you know, the image stacking and pixel shift and all that stuff. So check that out. Even if you don't shoot or you don't care about the Panasonic, whatever, it's a beautiful series. I urge you to check it out. Sal Dahlia and Fernando Martinez are some amazing filmmakers, and I'm really glad that they got chosen to go do this project, and it was such a rush for them. Okay, on the flip side of that, if you are a landscape photographer or a nighttime landscape, Irix just put this monster out. So Irix Edge Light Pollution Filter, which is bananas. So this is actually a filter you put on your lens, which is saying it'll do this. It'll cut through light pollution. This is a big deal. I mean, when you're shooting at night, there's a lot of light pollution that gets stuck inside the atmosphere. You know, the moistures, the humidity, the clouds. You have sodium vapor mixing with fluorescent lights and all sorts of stuff. These are nano-coated, oil-resistant, all sorts of things, types of resistant, anti-reflective coating. So they're saying they're gonna cut right through it and get you higher contrast, brighter images, and just better color overall if you're a nighttime shooter. I am very impressed with Irix as of yet. You've seen me on my own channel, if you do plug into my own channel, shoot with their 150 macro for the last 3 weekends or so in my studio live. So I'm really into their optics. I think they do a great job. They have a great thought process and philosophy towards what they should put out there. You know, they don't just put out lenses for the hell of putting out lenses. They really think about what to put out, and I think they really thought about this one too. They were going, people are shooting that blood moon. We should get out there and put some glass out. But apparently this will be out in time for Astra season, I think it's what they call it. I'm Astro season. Wow, I'm a jerk. I apologize. Okay, so in a little more under the radar news, if you're a Ricoh Pentax shooter, you get an 11 to 18 2.8 APS-C lens and a 35 millimeter f2 K-mount lens. So 11 to 18 is roughly 17 to 28, I think. Wait, let me see. 17 to 27.5. Oh, we're so close. And it's a 2.8, so I think this is going to be a little bit up there in price. We're looking at, boom, $1,400 for that lens and $400 for this cute little 35 millimeter f2. We don't really talk too much about Ricoh and Pentax aside from the 360 line with the Theta and stuff like that. Let me know if you're a Pentax shooter. I'm kind of curious who else is out there. I don't know if you guys can hear that banging, but it's getting to my nerves. Let me know if you're a Pentax shooter. I'm really curious if how many of you are out there. They kind of, you know, skate under. I know Ricoh put out that GR3 or whatever it was, and people were really excited about it. I know it was a big deal to that crowd. So why don't you talk to me about it? Because I'm not well informed on that. But Ricoh was an OG company, and I'm glad they're still around. You know, so also RNI, which is a film preset style for Capture One Lightroom. I actually just started looking into them. The RNI sent me a bunch of them. I will be doing some demos using these. However, they are now supporting the Nikon Z6, Z7, Leica Deluxe 7, and more. So if you shoot with those cameras, and they're trying to stay up on what's out there, so they will work nicely with the RAW files. RNI is a pretty beefy set of styles and presets, and I really was impressed with the way they think about who's using them. It's not just a look; it leaves it open-ended, so you can really push and pull things around, play with some curves, and really put out your own style out there if you are someone that really knows the type of look they're going for, as opposed to just going, I'll use Kodak Gold 400. That's a good preset. Like, no, this is really allows you to be a bit more of a photographer with the quote-unquote preset. I'm not a preset fan. I've gone on record by saying that, but I am going to do some demos where I show you why we shoot to the preset, to the style, as opposed to shooting and then trying a bunch of them afterwards and sticking with one that we think looks good. What I would like to say is they did a really good job on simulating the film. That's really what got me interested in them. I started seeing Polaroid color tones, Fuji Velvia, Provia, a lot of films I forgot about, and their versions of an extreme side of it. So it's kind of cool. If you're someone that's used film for a long time and you're in digital and you're just thinking it looks a little too cold for you, take a look at these. Again, stay tuned. I will be doing some demos with that. So if you guys didn't know, I got to go to Amsterdam with the crew during our IBC Photokina and Paris trips. I dropped this video during Super Bowl Sunday yesterday, so check it out. I got to shoot with a really great latex model and latex designer. This is Sebastian Kutros, who got this material ready for me, and this incredible model, Miranda, who, let me see if I can find, unbelievable, in the canals of Amsterdam. We only had an hour or two to shoot, including getting her dressed, getting to the location, and getting some shots going in some of the worst lighting conditions as far as hard sunlight and all sorts of things. And you guys can see my solution to that shoot in that video. It's a quick one, it's like 6 minutes. And I just have to tell you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the love you guys gave me in the comments. And a lot of you are asking me to do more of these videos. I have been doing these videos. You guys haven't been watching them. So go to the live view playlist. I'll put the link down below in this caption and poke around. The last one before this, if you guys missed it, was this unbelievable shoot I got to do in Paris, because I think it went under the radar. I know I'm kind of promoting myself here, but this was the Paris video. And if you guys missed out on it, please check it out. So I got to shoot at Makeup Forever in Paris and do this amazing effects with the RGBW flex lights from Westcott and all the Profoto A1s. This is a lot of hardcore lighting as far as studio goes, and I got to do all these crazy effects. So do yourself a favor and please do me a favor and please check out the live view playlist. If you guys feed into it more, I can do more of them. The basis of this series is basically, oh, I'm terrible with English, I'm sorry, is when I get a job that I don't have to sign an NDA on, or I can grab my crew and get over there, or both actually, and they can film while I work. We film it, we don't think about the video, and then afterwards I do a nice rundown of what actually happened. I'm not playing up to the camera, I'm not doing the video for the video, I'm doing a job, and you're gonna hear why I did what I did, how I got out of situations, what I did to get it to another level, and things like that. And how I just work with people, and what it's like to be on set, and the philosophies it goes into how I approach a subject or a job. So I want to say thank you all you guys. I'm sorry about all this noise. I know you hear bang, 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 bang. It's literally directly over my head, which means they know I'm recording. Anyways, let's talk about some of the stuff in the comments. What do you think about that one-shot contest? Do you think that it's just $600, just let it go, or it's the principle of the thing? What do you think about the Panasonic full frame? Oh, am I opening the floodgates? I know everybody wants to be like, I use this camera and it's the best. Stop. We're all getting a lot of fun toys to play with, but it looks like the analog community is losing a bunch of ground with Tetenal closing down. So if you're an analog shooter, are you looking into more independent companies for chemistry? Are you looking for paper? Are you looking for film companies? We're seeing a lot of alternative measures happening out there for the analog community. Let me know what you're getting into. I really want to know. And if you're a Ricoh shooter, hit me down below and let me know. I'm going to leave it with that. You know what? I'll leave you with one last question just for the sake of it. This one's for the nerds. I'm a little heartbroken because St. Mark's Comics here in New York is closing after 36, 37 years. They've been around as long as I've been alive, and I'm native to New York, and I always went to that place to find damaged comics to buy them for cheap so I could read them, you know, loose figurines and all sorts of things that kept my creativity fueled. And it was a great place to go late night and just skim through some books and then grab one and go to Union Square and just flip through it and read. It's a real heartbreaker. So in honor of them, I want to know, who's your favorite comic book hero? Who's your favorite villain? Are you more of a villain person? Are you more of a hero person? What books are you currently reading? Nerd it up with me in the comments. I want to hear about your comic book lives. Let's do this. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Hit like, share this around. I'll see you in the comments, and be good to each other, right? See you next Monday. Peace.